everyone, it's Anne from Annalisa's Creations. I'm here to do the International Crafters hashtag event, Starry July Nights. Alright, this is for the International Crafters. Now there's going to be 2 or 3 ways you can search for this hashtag event. One of them is I will be putting a link up here somewhere. Okay, you'll see a link that will take you over to the official playlist for all the lovely artists. Don't forget to check them out. The other idea is of how to search this, to actually search the hashtag on YouTube, Starry July Nights. All right. Another way is I will post the link down in the bottom in the information box below. So don't forget to check out the other artists. But without further ado, I'm going to get started, and don't forget to spend time here watching my channel too. All right. So I've made myself I'm going to be doing a themed tag, okay, along the lines of Starry July Nights. And I've made myself a stencil using my Cameo Silhouette die cutting machine. All right, my cutting machine. All right, so I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start with these first 2 colors. I'm going to be using the Distress Spray Stain in the Vintage Photo, and I'm going to be using Crushed Grape ink spray in the Dilutions. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and spray down in a few spots like that. I'm going to do the same with this one, the purple. Okay, and then I'm going to blot it. So I'm going to blot it down with a baby wipe. Just kind of go over it like this a little bit. And with the Dilutions and the Tim Holtz sprays, you are going to get it on your hands unless you wear gloves. But one thing that gets it out of your hands rather quickly is Murphy's oil soap, and it's not rough on your hands. All right, so I've blotted it down a little bit, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to kind of spread it out a little here on the edges because I don't want all this white. I'm kind of just dabbing it with the baby wipe. There we go. So that's what I want, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quickly dry this off camera, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, before I get started on adding anything else to my background of my tag, I'm going to be getting some StazOn ink to rub around the edges. I'm going to use the Royal Purple StazOn ink, and I'm just going to rub around the edges of my tag to add a little more depth to my tag. All right, there we go. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the London Blue, and I'm going to spray some of the London Blue through the stencil. And you might want to make sure you've got some protection if you're not worried about your area getting stained. Go ahead and spray, but I kind of put up a little barrier around my work area so that it sort of covers it up, so I don't get everything all blue or whatever color I'm working with. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and spritz through the stencil very lightly, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe and just kind of clean up what was left on the stencil, because what I like to do sometimes is I like to save my baby wipes with marking. But I'm going to kind of carefully lift this up. Let's see how it worked. That worked perfectly. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun again to dry this up, and then I'll be back in a moment. All right, so I've lined it up. Now I'm going to use some of the white linen in the dilutions. And carefully lift that up. So next I'm going to take some of the metallic ice blue, and I'm going to take it and use some of it through the stencil using a makeup sponge. Alright, now I'm going to take a little bit of the metallic, it's called Peacock Pearl. Alright, now I'm taking a little bit of the True Silver. It's by DecoArt. Alright, so I had this, cut this out of a box, gift box. I cut the box apart. It looks like this. It's got the silver on it. And I went ahead and did the top, cut the top out using my Sizzix die cut to create the top the same shape as the top of this tag. And I went ahead and glued it using Lean's tacky glue. And I'm using these, they're like little clip thingies that I got at Harbor Freight. So I'm just making sure that this adheres really well and adheres flat on the tag. And in the meantime, while that's drying, I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll be back in a few. Alright, so while we're waiting for the tag to dry, I have the stamp that I got from Viva Las Vegas Stamps. I'll post a link down at the bottom. Alright, and so I'm going to get started. I'm going to color her in. And I'm going to use my Julie Nutting watercolor pencils, hair and skin tones, right? Next, I'm going to use some Derwent Intense pencils. They're also water soluble, and once dry, they are permanent. Unlike the water soluble pencils or crayons that you might purchase, these are actual inks, and they do dry permanent. Alright, so first thing, I'm going to add some color to her lips. Alright, so she's nice and dry, and so now I'm going to go back to the actual tag, and before I decide to glue her on, I need to go outside and apply a fixative to her, because since I use some watercolors, the Derwents don't need a fixative, but the Julie Nutting ones do because they're water soluble. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright. So I have this that I used my Sizzix Big Shot to punch out, but it didn't quite punch out quite right. And I don't mind. I like it anyhow. And so I am going to put it here, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and punch some holes, because I punched some holes into this. This is metal. It's a metal sheet that I embossed and cut out. And I want to make holes because you'll see what I'm going to do next in a second, okay? So I've made the holes where I want this to go. And I have these brads, but I also have, well, these eyelets, I should say, and these teeny tiny brads, okay? Now, these eyelets, I had tried to put them through the holes here, but because the metal was too thick to put through with what the eyelet positioner, whatever you want to call it, it wouldn't go all the way through the metal. So instead, I'm going to use them, but I'm going to use these tiny brads to hold it through like this, okay? But before I do that, I've done my holes. I'm going to glue my girl on first, okay? And then I will deal with the rest in a minute. So that one worked, yay, okay. But it's not quite glued down like I want it to be here, because this needs to be kind of adhered down a little. So I'm going to take some of my Aleene's Tacky Glue and I'm just going to add a little bit on the back here. In these two corners. I'm going to hold it down. Now I die cut these stars. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these on, and I die cut them out of the gift box that I had cut out. Next, and I'm sorry if you're hearing a blowing noise, that's my air conditioning running. Today is very hot. It's going to be in the hundreds again. Or it's going to be hitting the hundreds. I wouldn't say again. Yesterday was in the 90s, but now it's going to be in the hundreds. So, yeah. All right. Now I'm going to, you know how you have those ring tag rings or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to glue one of those around. I had painted it in pretty much the same colors as I did the background with of this card, of this tag I should say, not card. Okay, well I guess I wasn't recording, but anyhow, I went over the face with some decoupage crystal glitter, and it has a little bit of glitter in it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Anyhow, and then I glued another star right here, and I added some more of that glitter decoupage to the background. So I changed my mind about adding a saying to this because I love the background and I'm afraid of covering it all up, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Alright, so I'm going to see if these will work by putting this through. Just going to see if I can get this to work. I kind of tighten this too much. The ring here. Okay. This one's going to go through here. Like that, and then I'm going to take it together like this, and hopefully that's not going to come off. And then I'm going to feed them both through at the same time in hopes that I can do this. We'll see. Come on. Come on. Okay, there we go. Now if I can just get this to feed, the ends to feed through, I'll be in luck. Okay, so let's put that like that. Okay, and then let's feed these two together through the two holes of ribbons, like this. Come on, work for me. It's It's always a challenge to do this with two different beads, two different ribbons, but at the same token trying to get some beads through here as well, to tie on the beads as well at the same time. So we'll see if I can get this to work. Alright, come on in, you can do this. You can do this, and I think I succeeded. It's just, it's kind of blocking the two ones together, but it does look pretty good. So there you have it. See, I got the bead hanging too, which I don't really like the position this beads are hanging from. I think I'll just leave it the way it is. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that you will check out all the wonderful artists that are involved in the Starry July Nights hashtag event. Don't forget to check out the hashtag, and you can check out the playlist up here somewhere. And I'll also post it down below in the description box below. And I hope that you enjoyed this and that you'll come back and visit me too if you're not already a subscriber to my channel. If you like what you see, please share, comment, all that jazz, and I shall see you next time. Bye. Toodles. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.